Hello, and welcome to Shell Point Today for Thursday, April 14th. I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi.
And I'm Rich Nation. Thanks for joining us today. On today's show, we'll learn about Health Victor, a Health Connections class presented by Bob Mandell, who battled back from a debilitating stroke. And Jeff Cory of the Legacy Foundation will talk with Melody Desilets about gift annuities.
But first, don't forget that tomorrow night you can enjoy a great concert and help a local high school compete on an international stage. Cypress Lake High School's a cappella group is already award-winning, and they plan to take the stage at the International Champions High School a cappella finals in New York City later this month. Friday night's concert is at the Village Church at 7:15, and the cost is $10, which will go to support the group's expenses to compete in New York.
This Saturday is a great opportunity to shop at the fabulous Trader Joe's in Naples. Court pickups begin on the island at 12:30 in the afternoon, and the cost is $8. Sign up to visit this unique grocery store with great prices, good food, and healthy eating taken seriously.
This weekend will also be the time for another Salute to Shakespeare. Session 6 of this Academy class will look at the Bard's life and work by taking a completely different approach. What if Shakespeare's plays were actually all penned by someone else? Sunday's session will look at the 2011 film Anonymous that explores the theory that the plays were written by Edward de Vere, Earl of Oxford. The movie is set against the backdrop of the succession of Queen Elizabeth I and the Essex Rebellion against her. You're sure to enjoy this emotional and fascinating film. It will be played in the Grand Cypress Room of the Woodlands at 2 p.m. on Sunday.
Health Victor, Turning Lemons into Lemonade, is a Health Connections class coming up on Monday that you don't want to miss. Bob Mandell had a stroke 20 years ago and was, according to doctors, sentenced to a life in a wheelchair. Come hear Bob's incredible testimony of his journey to recovery and improvement. He has authored a book, started a foundation, and travels internationally. He's quite an inspiration, and Heather Battey visits with him now to learn more about Monday's class.
Hi, I'm Heather Battey with Resort Services. Today I have a special guest, Bob Mandell. He is many things, but most importantly, he's motivational and inspirational. He's here to talk to us about his upcoming Health Connection program called Health Victor, Turning Lemons into Lemonade.
Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for
it's
being
my pleasure.
here. You are very inspirational and motivational about your book and how you've really worked to get better.
Right.
Can you tell me about that?
Well, 20 years ago, I had a stroke, and I was paralyzed. I was aphasic. I was incontinent, and they told me I'd be in a wheelchair, and then I was in a Connecticut nursing home for 3.5 months. And I couldn't really think very much, and I couldn't speak very much, but when the doctor said, you're going to, accommodate yourself to the idea of being in a wheelchair, I said to myself, And my wife of 18 months said the same thing. We had just gotten married in Connecticut, and so there was the journey began. And the bad news was I had a stroke at 53. Wow. The good news was insurance was different than it is today. And so I was in a nursing home for 3.5 months, progressing slowly, but I was progressing. And then got involved with outpatient therapy in Danbury, your home.
Yes.
Main Street
Okay.
Therapy, which is a world-class therapy facility.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 years, 4 to 5 hours a day.
Wow.
5 days a week.
What do you remember being one of the biggest struggles for you when you were first starting out?
Well, initially the first struggle was speaking. And when the speech pathologist came to my room at the nursing home, I realized I couldn't speak very well. I had just gotten out of the hospital where I'd been for 10 days, where I had hiccuping for 10 days, so I basically slept. And she gave me a 3-word sentence, and I couldn't repeat it.
Do you remember the sentence?
It was something like, I love you, or something really simple.
Okay.
And I couldn't get the 3 words out. And that's when it hit me that I was a lot sicker than I thought. But that wasn't going to stop me in any way. So, so they gave me speech therapy, and I had physical therapy, and I had occupational therapy. And when I got to the outpatient facility in Danbury, I did therapy in a pool, which was great because that's the first time I walked after the stroke.
Yeah.
Because of the buoyancy of the water.
Exactly.
I was able to do it enough. And then I realized I'd be able to walk again. And I had therapy for the therapy. Because I needed therapy for therapy.
Yes.
And over time, I started getting less therapy, and then I started working with an exercise physiologist in Danbury. And when that ended, frankly, I had burnt out of all the therapy. You know, you do burn out.
Sure.
And we moved down to Stanford and to a high-rise, which was more handicap-friendly. And then we proceeded to move down here to Naples, built a house in Naples 15 years ago. And then I thought to myself, you know, I think the sun and vitamin D and all that kind of stuff I can make some more progress. And so I got involved in their therapy, and I still have my good insurance.
Good. Well, that's good.
So. And while I was there, soon after I got there, a young gal who had just graduated from University of Florida physical therapy program, she came running over to my table, and she said, "You have to get involved in the Brain Rehab Center up in Gainesville.
Oh, wow.
They do lots of studies, and you would be perfect for that." So I journeyed up there for a day and a half. They sliced and diced me. And you know, when you do clinical research, you have to get all of the variables out of the way, and so that you meet the criteria of the researcher. And so I spent the summer up there, the better part of the summer, kind of going back and forth. And I did something called constraint therapy, and that's when they give you a catcher's mitt over your unaffected hand, and do everything with your affected hand. And the theory goes that the brain rewires by all that intense activity. Something that was thought of by Dr. Taub of the University of Alabama. And so I did, and then the end result of being able to do that was I could hold a wine glass. And then I did another study. Remember Christopher Reeves? There were pictures of him hanging over a treadmill. And they had never done that with a stroke patient. So they asked me to do it. And so we did it in 2 weeks, over a 2-week period, about an hour a day. And I speeded up my walking about 25% pre and post testing, doing academic study. And then I did a whole bunch of other studies. The mental studies didn't help me. I was too far gone. So and then, you know, I just kept doing therapy. I kept doing exercise. I work out every day. And,
that's great. Good for you.
And that's part of the idea of Health Victor. I got down to my basic training weight, which is tough to do, but I've done it. And so, you know, when you carry around less weight, it's easier to walk. You have more energy. And so I did that. That's another part of Health Victor.
And Health Victor, is that relatable to the book that you've written and some of the talks that you do?
It is. It's basically, the book is a how-to book, how to get better. My publisher said, "Look, Bob, you're not Bill Clinton, so no one's going to read a memoir of you. Maybe your friends and relatives, but that's it. That's it. But that's not going to sell, and I won't publish it." But he said, if you write a how-to book, how you've done what you've done, I'll do that.
And what are some of the key things outside of therapy, the physical therapy, occupational? What are some other things that you think have attributed to
Well, the first thing is I am a great advocate of being involved in clinical research, just as I was up at Florida, and also some other studies down in South Florida. You know, it's a way to get the cutting-edge medicine, becoming involved in it, and then you mentally become part of that process, and that's good for you. Another thing is I still work, and I continue to work, will always work, because I believe that by working, you get your brain works, your body works, and you're always engaged, completely engaged. So I'm a great believer in that. And then diet. I am not totally vegetarian, but I don't eat too much to breathe. But not vegan or anything like that.
Okay.
But so those combination of things, I think it helps you become quite healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I've done. We travel, and that's how this book actually got going. My wife and I had gone to Australia and New Zealand a couple of years ago on our own, 6 weeks, 18 flights. 18 flights.
Wow.
And we did tours, but we weren't on a tour. We took a cruise across to New Zealand, and then we did our own excursions.
And that's how you kind of got the idea for the book?
Well, a good friend of mine who is who used to be a professor at University of Michigan of Communications, he said, Bob, you have to write how you went from a nursing home to to writing a book and doing what you're doing, going to Australia, going to New Zealand. And now we're planning to go to the Arctic this winter.
Oh, wow. Great. Well, we don't want to give away too many of your secrets because we want everyone to come to your presentation. This presentation is, again, Bob Mandell, Health Victor. It's turning lemons into lemonade. It's a health connection program. It's Monday, April 18th at 1 p.m. in the Grand Cypress Room. So if you want to find out more secrets about
we got lots more to talk about.
Health Victor, make sure you join us. Thank you so much and stay happy and healthy. What exactly are gift annuities? How about charitable IRA rollovers? Well, there's no better place to go find the answers than to the Legacy Foundation. What's that? We're not going to the Legacy Foundation? We're going to the Island Amphitheater instead? Okay, well apparently we're going to the amphitheater to find out our answers. Melody Desilets is over there learning to play the guitar.
Earlier this month, it was golf. Now she's taking up music.
Hey, Melody. I was wondering where you went for lunch.
Yeah, I decided to come out here to Friendship Point, enjoy the beautiful weather. I was so inspired by the Mountain Faith Band that dedicated this very place that I decided I'm going to start working on my second career. I'm going to take this show on the road.
Really? I didn't know you were an aspiring musician or that you had a show to take on the road.
Well, my name is Melody and I have music in my veins.
Are you really that passionate about taking your show on the road?
Well, if I'm honest, not really. I was just looking to make a few extra bucks for my IRA. And if I did learn something at Shell Point, it's that it's never too early to start planning for my future.
That's right, Melody. In fact, I was just talking to a CPA. You know, it's income tax season, and everybody's looking for ways to save on income tax. I think I got a really good idea for next year.
What'd you learn, Jeff?
Well, for the past several years, IRA owners have been able to take their required minimum distribution and give it directly to charity without recognizing the income. It's been a great tax benefit to IRA holders, and especially those that are charitably minded.
I can see that.
Well, Melody, the conundrum has always been that Congress would wait until December of each year to approve the IRA rollover provision. But this past December, the President made the IRA to charity rollover provision a permanent tax provision. So, while our residents have income taxes on their mind, we need to let them know this new IRA to charity provision can help them on their 2016 income taxes.
Well, that's great, Jeff. So that means residents can make gifts from their IRA directly to charities like Shell Point and save on their taxes?
They sure can.
And they can designate their gift to the Friendship Fund, Hope Hospice at Shell Point, the Memory Care Program, and more. Wow, Jeff, we need to let our residents know about this and have them contact you directly at the Legacy Foundation if they haven't taken their required minimum distribution this year.
That's right, Melody. Well, let me think about how we can tell our residents, and I'll let you get back to the performing.
Sounds like a plan, Jeff, because I have a great idea. I'll perform here at Friendship Point next year, followed by the Fine and Performing Arts Concert Series, and I will save you a front row seat at my premiere at the Grand Ole Opry.
And now it's time to take a look at today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello and happy Thursday. This is the happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Caitlin Van Scoy.
And I'm Bev Chandley.
We're here to give you all of Thursday's activities. Just a reminder that Academy registration does begin today, so make sure you sign up for all those classes you want. We start the morning off with 7:15 Bend, Breathe, and Balance in the Tarpon Room. That's followed by Men's Golf Association at 8 o'clock. They'll meet at the Shell Point Golf Club. Also at 8, the round robin doubles tennis players will be at the Woodlands tennis courts. There's an outing to Naples Botanical Tour, and that's a lunch as well. It leaves at 9:15 from the island, 9:30 Woodlands, and 9:45 Eagles Preserve and Estuary. Shuffleboard is available at the shuffleboard courts at 9:15. At 9:30, we have ladies match play tennis at the Woodlands. And also at 9:30, the Paddlers Club will be leaving from the kayak storage for their weekly outing. We move to 9:45 for Introduction to Line Dancing in the Tarpon Room. At 10:15, the Astronomy Interest Group will be meeting in the Osprey Room. Also at 10:15, Basic Line Dancing will be held in the Tarpon Room. The Suzy Q heads out to Rum Runners or Fathoms for lunch. That leaves at 11 o'clock. You do need to sign up for that trip. That's it for our morning. Here's Bev for our afternoon.
Thank you, Caitlin. We're going to start out the afternoon at 12:45 with Mahjong in the Library Lounge on the island. And at 1:15, we have Samba at the Resident Activities Center. The Finding Joy group will be in the Manatee Room at 1:45. Also at 1:45, we have Fun and Fitness. That's in the Community Room of King's Crown. The Stamp Ministry will be in the Stamp Room at 2. And at 2:45, we have a Health Connections class, Osteo Break Free. That's in the Tarpon Room and currently full. Moving to 4 o'clock, we have our seamstress in the Osprey Room. If you have any sewing needs, that's what she's there for. And at 4:30, we have Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. At 6:30, Pinochle will be played at the Library Lounge. And we're going to round out the evening with a 7 o'clock Trailblazers Bible study gathering in the Game Room of the Woodlands. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you back here again tomorrow.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is Salisbury steak with mashed potatoes and carrots. The dinner special is the Crystal Carving Board for $15.95, and the soup of the day is navy bean. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a turkey, Swiss, and bacon panini with fresh fruit for $7.75. The dinner special is Thai night for $8.75. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are ribeye with smoky onions and Roquefort for $20.95, or salmon Wellington for $17.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Hi, welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm Andy Hawkins, the senior pastor of the Village Church, and I'm here with Jerry Palmquist. And Jerry, we're here to talk about a movie of all things.
Very good.
That's right.
Very good.
In fact, the Village Church has been sponsoring in the last number of months a movie that has a particular connection, I think, with our people, our values, the things that would be consistent with the Christian faith, that kind of thing. But not necessarily explicitly Christian films, but some of them have been. We try to do about one a month most of the time. And it's interesting that the library is the part of the Village Church that actually got this started, because they have a video library, don't they?
That's right. Yeah. Well, it was kind of interesting. I met a few people who didn't even realize we had a library in the church located in the back of the auditorium.
Right.
And so we thought, well, people ought to realize we have over 4,500 books in there and over 400 CDs and DVDs. And one way to get this known is to show some of these on the Shell Point TV.
And I bet not everybody has read all 4,500 books.
Probably not, but there's some who've read an awful lot of them.
There probably have been. But I don't think people are aware that there are DVDs that can be checked out of there.
That's right.
But I think the idea was that, well, certainly, people can look at a DVD in their home, but what much more fun it is, and I think encouraging it is, to watch it with a group on a large screen together, and that's what's going to happen in the event that's coming up. Tell us about when that's happening and where it's happening.
This is happening on April 18th on Monday evening at 7 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And as usual, we have the popcorn and soda to make everybody happy. It's free.
Of course.
And it's a good time to enjoy each other. But the movie The Note is going to be shown that night.
That's right. Tell us about The Note. That's the movie we're going to see this
The
week.
Note is it's an inspirational film to watch. It is based on a novel written by Angela Hunt, who a lot of people have already read the book. But it's a story of a newspaper columnist who discovered a note that was written by a person who was killed in an airplane crash. And she takes it upon herself to see if she can find that person, to at least let them know that the note was written to them.
Yeah, the note, not the person who died, but the person to whom the note was written.
Right, who they were writing it to.
Right, yeah.
And to see if she could help them. But the interesting thing is, after she discovers who the person was that the note was written to, she realizes that she was helped the most.
Interesting.
And so it's a real interesting film to watch and to see what takes place.
So there's sort of layers of meaning in this kind of film, aren't there? Because you have the idea of what kind of message would you like to leave to someone? That's part of it.
Right.
And then what impact would that have on the person to whom you're writing? And then, of course, the journey that this woman takes to try to find this person has its own set of layer of meaning, that's what gives the inspiration for it.
It was a real help to her. It made a difference in her life.
That's right.
So those things are, it's very interesting to watch it.
Yeah, and I understand this is one of the most popular of all of the films that have been shown on the Hallmark Network.
Yeah, that's what I understand.
Yeah, fantastic.
So, well, after you see it, you can understand why.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think we had a whole bunch of people there the last couple of times we've had. It's been a great group to connect, and I think they'll love to see this film as well.
Had to get there to get a seat early enough. Yeah, right. That's
early.
at the Social Center.
That's right.
Monday evening, April the 18th.
Okay, that sounds great.
Good.
Well, thanks for sharing that with us, Jerry. We hope all of you will have an opportunity to see this film. That's, again, Monday, April 18th in the Social Center, 7 o'clock, and we'll look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks for joining us today. Be sure to watch again tomorrow when we'll learn about this year's School Supplies Fund Drive from Beth Crenshaw and Dorothy Erickson. And we'll revisit the top stories from earlier this week. Until then, this has been Shell Point Today for Thursday, April the 14th. I'm Rich Nation.
And I'm Mary Kay Grimaldi. Thanks for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.